Hi, Edson.
Hello.
It's so nice to have you here in our podcast. This is Edson Chagas. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Very strange times, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I'm surviving. Yeah.
Yeah. So, just to start to give people a bit of context, who is Edson Chagas as a photographer, as an artist?
Whoa.
Big question.
Normal guy. I'm a very introspective person. Very calm. I think to define myself in a little world, I see myself as someone who, pronto, eu vou dizer em português, observo muito,
You observe a lot.
yeah, that's my kind of
Vibe.
no, it's not vibe. Actually, because yesterday I was talking with a friend on the phone, and we were talking about this, and I'm forgetting about the words.
Okay.
But it goes in that sense of the way how you look at things. Like my father, and it's interesting now because you made this question, which is very simple, and through my I would call it young career as an artist, I always had different. You would ask me what is art for you. I would have an answer, and then after a few months, I would have another one. So I don't really have a
Definition.
of that. But every time I have something, I would say today that this is what it came in my mind, what my father told me days ago when he said, "Oh, I remember when you were a kid, we would go to my grandparents' house, and then when we would go back home, we would pass through Combatentes.
Yeah.
And Combatentes had these big lights, all these lights."
Yeah.
It was even maybe the most enlightened streets. And so he came from Valodia, and then he said, "Yeah, I remember you always observe, you're always looking at the lights all the time. Every time I would speak with you, and I would just see you on the back of the car, just looking at the lights."
Yeah.
And yesterday, talking with a friend of mine, he also was talking. He was saying something on that. There is a thing in the way you look at things, which sometimes can make a difference from
perspective.
From the perspective of how you see things and how you imagine.
Yeah, because we can look at the same thing, but read it differently.
Differently, yeah.
So, do you think that came very naturally to you, because you were saying as a kid you were already you observed a lot? So, do you think that this maybe clinical eye was always there?
Well, no. For me, it's just actually it just makes me understand better, where this comes from. But I would not say that I had a clinical eye. I just say that actually it's true. I always stare at something, I get very distracted very easily, which was annoying. Now I'm a bit better. But yes, it's this thing of observing, of looking at let's say an object and see different things and imagine the different things. So looking at a particular thing in a particular way, in a particular perspective, it can, at least for me, it can grab me to a different kind of memory.
Trigger something.
Yeah, it triggers something. So it goes beyond of what are you looking at.
Okay.
So then it's important the way how to photograph. So So that feeling that you are having then can somehow pass to others that they're gonna look, because
Yeah.
I look at something in 3D and then I photograph,
Okay.
and then when you're going to look, you're going to look in the photograph.
Yeah.
So how to connect these two spaces, let's say,
Yeah, and bring that dimension,
the dimension
into a flat image.
to a flat image, and then sharing with others, and kind of make the not make but have the sense if the others are feeling the same thing
Yeah.
as you feel, So I think art has this thing of sharing, which is very important.
And I also think that like looking at something that might look very simple, very boring, and make it special, like
Yeah.
a wall, like a,
See, yes, like a wall. Like I'm looking at that. We cannot turn the cameras there, but there is something very interesting imaginary there, like
about the structure,
Yeah, about the structure,
the textures,
the texture, but also that I think it's a sofa or something. No, not sofa.
Like
it's
a chair.
Like a chair.
the
Yeah.
chair.
But if the chair is like this, like the way it is, but we're not going to talk about this.
We can
because
put a
it
photo
doesn't make
after.
sense. Yeah. But looking at that in this, where I'm looking,
Yeah.
for me, it's like the chair is having life. It's like
Yeah.
she's in a position.
Does that trigger you?
there
Like,
is- yes.
I want to take a photo of that.
Yeah. So there is this kind of things. And of course, looking in this way, I might find interesting. And then when I photograph, when I look at my computer, it might not be interesting anymore. And it's okay,
Yeah.
That's the
So,
process
yeah.
sometimes.
Do you feel that it's like very much testing and like testing a lot of things and being able to eliminate, or do you get frustrated when like you think something's gonna work out and it doesn't?
Well, sometimes you cannot go back. So if you have the opportunity to post production, if you are good at it as well, why not? I don't have this kind of problem. But for me, the picture has to look as if it's a picture. I mean, too much baton in the picture.
Yeah. Too much.
Too much is too much. It becomes too plastic to even look at it. I don't do much post production in my pictures. But I'm saying is that sometimes you're trying to focus to photograph something, but you're trying to achieve that has an image that's going to become a photograph.
Yeah.
So that's so you are capturing something that's in a 3D dimensional three-dimensional space, and then to capture in a way that then it can bring not the 3 dimension, not that, but that to make something that is quiet or boring, that is going to be in a very quiet space, which is a photograph printed flat, and then look at it and trying to take all this and trying to make you imagine different things or to different feelings or to a different space of what to think about. It's very difficult. It's
a challenge.
Easy. Yeah, it's a challenge.
Yeah,
and it's a challenge that I enjoy very much.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say you're introverted, and that's but you look at things that trigger you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you prefer to live in a calm space, or do you enjoy going to a place where, like, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of triggers?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that implicate your work? Like your...
No, I don't choose a particular like a chaotic space or not. I just go to places. If it's chaotic, I think I will need more and more time to look and to process and to. If it's quiet and there is nothing, I don't do anything. So I just don't photograph. It's not. I think is where my eye is going to. If my eye is not going to anywhere, then I don't force it. It's not something.
Yeah, it's a natural process.
Yeah, it's a natural process. Of course, there is things that trigger more than others, particular objects, particular spaces. Yeah. So I have projects because even the projects the phone not taken
Yeah.
I started in England, in London. Then it was actually spaces where I was living.
Yeah.
And then when I went back to Luanda, I continued the project because there was the environment for that as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to compare London. It was
Yeah.
just places where I was living, and probably I was carrying the same feeling in all these places.
In
Because
completely different environment.
yeah, because living very young, going to Portugal to study, and then at some point being alone with my brother, and this sense of place of belonging starts disseminating, starts disappearing, kind of, and you become more. I don't know. It's very strange to talk about this now because I never really
Yeah, but I feel
talked.
I feel that is. I
You,
think it's
you
very.
feel the same.
I
Yeah.
think that's very interesting because I think nowadays, it's not just because you were born somewhere or your parents are from somewhere that you're
That you
100%
belong.
that you belong.
But these days, today, you don't feel like people really want to belong somewhere.
Yeah.
Like there's this eager to belong.
To have like
to have,
roots.
no, I'm from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny when there was a story in London, actually. I was saying something now, but there was this girl, she was American. But then through the conversations, we find out that she was her heritage is from Mongolia.
Yeah.
So, and then suddenly she was just from Mongolia. And I was
Yeah.
like, but you are American, no?
Yeah.
Mongolia, no? There was, I mean, it's just to say that there is a lot of this thing today, like to belong. I'm this, I'm that, very kind of narrow-minded way of thinking, even though we all belong in the same world. So, but yes.
No, you were talking about found not taken.
Oh yeah. How? Yeah. So basically, about the found not taken project was, like I was saying before, that was what the trigger was. Not probably looking for images, but the trigger was the feeling, what I was feeling at the time, and how I would, let's say, speak with images or like with what I do, which is photography. And that's how I found the way of, not found the way, but I remember that when I was going to school every day, I would see a lot of objects in the
on the way,
on the way, newspapers and a lot of things. And I was taking already photographs of that, but not really the way I photographed the project.
Yeah.
It was just, random. But then I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and one of the days when I was developing the project, I took one of the pictures in this very, let's say, minimal kind of way. And that's when I found, okay, I think that's
it.
That's it, because to find a linear way of, so the space, it's very weird to say this, but the space for me kind of was everywhere. But the feeling, it was the same. So you are in London, then you are in Newport, and then you go back to Luanda, but you still feel this not belonging kind of thing. So when you look at these pictures from all the cities, if you see, if you have seen anyone, because most of the exhibitions I made, not most, but in Luanda, it was just the Luanda pictures. But it's very interesting when you see all of them together, because it's the same way. They're respected. They're photographed in the same way in different cities, but because they have this particular way of simple way of being photographed, and with the same kind of ways, dimensions. So makes it all linear. So
it's like equal.
Yeah, because the feeling is more about the feeling actually.
It's like no matter where you are, that feeling is
still haunts me.
It's still present.
It's still present. Yeah.
And why the name Found Not Taken?
Actually, I don't think I have a very interesting story.
I love the name.
For that name, it was just actually há quem diga em português, in Portuguese, achado não é roubado, mas não é. No, it's not that's the intention of the title. It was actually what I was doing. I was finding.
Yeah.
I was taking pictures, but I was not taking the objects with me. So that's the kind of the title.
Yeah. And so you were in Luanda, and then you went to the UK.
Yeah. No, I came. My story is quite strange. With 2 years old, I was born in Luanda, Lucrécia Paim, 77. Yeah. And with 2 years old, I came to live in Angola, in Portugal.
Yeah.
And then with around 5, 6, I went back to Luanda. And then lived there a long time. And then when there was this problem in 92, the elections, that's when my parents decided again for me to leave.
Yeah.
And I was around 16. So I lived, but my childhood in Luanda was very intense, very nice. I mean, I still have good friends from my childhood. I studied in 1º de Agosto na Maianga and Muto Iacavela. So I was skating, bicycle, playing with friends, doing a lot of stuff. It was quite reviving, and of course the good memories. And then when I came to Portugal, I was living here, but because not having a place, you're always moving. You go to the house of this auntie and another auntie, and go to grandma, and you like a ping pong. Yeah. So you don't have I was never settled. You know, you were never settled in
a home.
In a home where you could say, okay. So the only place I was settled and I lived for a longer time without moving is Luanda, is in Maianga, Angola, in Luanda. Outside of Angola, I always lived in different cities, in different places, different areas of the city. So even in London as well, always moving and
jumping
so
around.
This settling thing, there was never something that was familiar to me.
Okay.
And I think also that influences my way of looking at things. So memory is something that I like to reactivate when I look at something. Some things I don't have a particular memory, but probably I look and I see something that could be fulfilled for the future. So there is these two paradox maybe.
And how did the passion for photography happen? How did you discover that?
Very accidental.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to be a filmmaker.
Okay, but it's not completely different.
It's very weird because most photographers say this, but no, mine is really true. I wanted to be a filmmaker. And I actually was, because I was not very good at school. So the army. I did the army here, the exército. Yeah,
Yeah.
4 months.
Military
4
school.
months. The military thing, and then.
Were you good at that?
No, I
It must be
hate it,
hard.
but then I loved it. Yeah, it
That's
was.
what everyone says.
Yeah,
Actually.
it was interesting. It was like it was nice. It was good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good to understand order and and discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun when goes up comes for everybody. So
Yeah.
that's the rule. Like in military, they always say, "Quando o sol nasce é para todos."
Yeah.
And it is very interesting. But yeah, it was a phase of my life that was interesting. And then I would see this guy, the photographer of because they always had the photographer, the military, and I was questioning, but how can I work for this, blah blah blah. But he was doing the films as well,
Yeah.
and I was already asking like where I could, study
Yeah.
to learn how to be a cameraman.
Yeah.
Not even filmmakers, cameraman that I wanted. Yeah. So to operate the camera. And then when I came out when the military finished, when I came out of it, I was living in Alverca.
Yeah.
And in Alverca, Arsena, I don't know if you know, in Arsena, there is an area. They at that time there was like this community center, and when I come, my friends tell me, "Oh, you know what? You just came. There is a community center now. We have a community center. Wow!" So everybody goes there, computer, it's a big thing. And then they made a few courses, like 3 working courses. So you actually get paid to study.
Oh,
It was like, wow, this is amazing. I get paid. Wow. Instead of going and work, why not? And then one of the courses was audio and video, was an audio and video course, 3 months course. And then they had like estágio, like work placement.
Yeah,
work,
an internship.
Internship, yeah. So I did the course with my friends. And then the guy who was supposed to teach us video didn't understand nothing about video,
No.
only photography. So because of that, then, okay, but I will teach you photography to all of you, blah, blah, blah. It was interesting to see, to develop the films, it was, for me, it was like, wow, it's a new toy, like something. It was very, I never had like, in my family, someone who was photographer. I don't have this fancy story. My story is really, it was a good accident, maybe. It was a nice encounter. But I have this feeling that things were pushing that way, in a way. That it was suddenly, I come back from the military and there is this course about something that I'm interested. And then I do the course. And then one of the tutors of the course, of the audio, he told me, "Oh, you have talent, you should go and study at ETIC." That's when there is another place?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's when I went to enroll at EP, and then I also did my internship in Chapiteau, here in Lisbon.
And at this age, when you went to the community center, how old were you?
I was 20, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 20, yeah. This was 98, so I was 21.
That's the year I was born. Yeah.
You were born in 98?
Yeah, in 98.
Wow. I'm too old.
No, but that's cool. So then how did you decide to go to London and take photojournalism?
Okay. So I'm in this very long story about myself.
No, don't worry. We have all the time in the world.
So basically, so then I will tell you a story that was very interesting. When during the course, I finished the course and we're supposed to have an internship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I go there next day. So when is the internship? Oh yeah, tomorrow. Come, blah blah blah. I go tomorrow, and I go, and I 1 week going every day asking
No,
for the internship. There's no internship. Come on, it's in the contract. I want
yeah,
my
yeah.
internship. Yeah, and so what happened was that this guy, I think, knew someone in Chapiteau and say, okay, tomorrow you have to come here, 8 o'clock. Yeah? And then I will bring you to this place for your internship. But you have to be here 8 o'clock. Okay. So okay. I was there at 7. And then the guy appeared at 9.
No.
So it was a long wait. And then he go, oh, you were here already. Oh, okay. So let me just take a coffee. And then I went with him, and I went to Chapiteau, and I met Nuno, Rico, Teresa, everybody, the team. It was very interesting and very fulfilling. I stayed 1 month. It was a 1 month internship, but then they really liked my work and working with me, so they invited me to do another month. Yeah. And sorry, during that time also I I called a local newspaper in Alverca. There was a local newspaper called Jornal de Alverca. I don't know if it exists anymore. And then I called because I was very, I don't know. I think you have to be, when you're young, you have to be a bit crazy like that. Because I was like, they said I can get a job, I will get a job. So because 3 months school, I think that
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. So very kind of naivety, but I think it was what it. I'm very happy that I was like that, because then I called this newspaper. I'm Edson Chagas. Yes, I'm a photographer. But okay, and where is your portfolio? And I start seeing portfolio. I don't think I have portfolio. I have some pictures.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, but we cannot pay you, so come here, let's talk, and blah blah blah. So I went. I already had a camera. That was very important. If you don't have a camera to work, it was not possible. So, and then I met these guys, very interesting. His name, I don't remember now. Tiago, yeah. But they were really, really nice. I would really maybe one day to see if I can meet them again. But it was very interesting. It was a very interesting, very humble newspaper. We would cover the stories in Alverca. It was a good... and then from that, I actually made my portfolio, which helped, and with Chapiteau, which helped for me to actually get into the EPI course, which is at Ethic. EPI is 3-year course with the 12º classes. Pronto. And and then after that, I realized, well, I don't think I know enough. So I need, and then this pressure, the parents. So what, you're not going to university? and when I say, actually, when I told them I'm going to study photography, they're like, are you crazy? Come on.
The classic.
And then when they start looking at my
portfolio?
No, not portfolio. As notas de escola.
My notes?
My grades.
My grades.
The grades.
Your grades.
The grades were very good. I was very bad at mathematics, and then I was 18. 15. My parents were like, maybe. And it was very funny because my father then, because my uncle was telling, oh, like the kid, come on, he's good if he wants and if he's doing well. But the photography, I don't know. And then one day, I don't know where he read this story, and then he came to me, oh, actually, it's a good profession. You know that Xanana Guzmão was a photographer? So now
I can do it.
Now it's
validated.
It's validated. So all these things. But actually, because of that thing of thinking, until actually today, I still think I don't know enough. So that's when I decided to go to England. I
Yeah.
could go. I said, well, I don't speak English. I had the opportunity to go to Germany as well. But I said, if I don't speak English, for sure Germany is going to be
Yeah.
very hard
German
for
is
me.
hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Nothing against Germans, it's okay, but it's very hard. So I decided to go to London. I had an uncle there. My uncle received me and said, "Are you crazy? You don't speak English. What are you doing here?"
Yeah. That's a real
And then I
adventure.
was just, and then he actually helped me where to go and study.
Yeah.
Did these SO courses and actually in Kingston College near Holborn. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then my English started picking up, and then I was working, and actually when you start working in a place where you start really
Yeah.
meeting people and improving the English. And it was actually interesting because I didn't feel bullied because
Yeah.
of the English. Didn't feel so. It was a good place to be. And then after 1 year, my English was still not very good. But I decided, no, I go to
I need a
university
new
now.
adventure.
I think I'm good to go. I already can speak 500 500 words. It's fine. My
Yeah,
English
yeah.
is great. It was when I think to this, and it was crazy. It was like, oh, I'm very lucky. Oh.
No, it's that. It's like they say, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, but was a good experience. Then I went to LCC. I'm enrolled to many universities, but I wanted to go to LCC because I asked, so what is the best school here for photography? You have this, so I want to go there. And my friends, you're crazy. Your English is not even, why you think they're going to accept you? Yes, I have a good portfolio. I was very confident.
yeah.
And then I enrolled, and actually they called me for an interview. I spoke with the, um, with the tutor, the coordinator, because I actually enrolled for the fine art photography course. And she told me, I saw your portfolio. You can choose our course, fine art photography. But I think you are very good in photojournalism.
Yeah.
So, and we have a course in photojournalism here. I think it's going to be, and I know the tutor, I can call
Yeah.
him. She called. The guy was in, I don't know, some island in the beach. I'm in the beach. This is true.
Yeah.
Because I heard, and then I spoke with him as well on the
Yeah.
phone. And then I said, okay, I choose photojournalism. And that's how I did the course there. And then I felt that I still need more to know more. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
So then I enrolled through friends of mine. They said, "Oh, there is this documentary course in Newport, Wales. You know who made the course? Is one of these guys from Magnum, the Magnum agency. I don't know if you know. It's a big agency, and one of the photographers from this agency is the one who kind of built the course. So everybody."
I was like,
So I said, okay, let's go. Maybe I go to Magnum.
yeah.
Never. Yeah. But I never had, it was really curiosity. And then it was a very interesting course as well. It, it was very hard, but also being very hard, I realized that, you know, even though, you know, I worked already in newspapers, blah, 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 I can do, but this is not what really grasps me, you know.
Yeah.
And even doing photography, the documentary, like the thing of people, I realized I have to find a way to express myself with photography, but in a way that I feel comfortable and
Yeah.
and I feel I'm actually
Not being like obliged.
yeah. So that course actually helped me a lot. Yeah, actually, when I start this project, I found Not Taken, which was in the summer, and there was this elective which I used this project I was doing, which is something that some people. I was doing the course, but I also had my own things going on,
Yeah.
and also with a friend of mine, we would do our own thing, even with music and something outside of the course. And this project I was developing already, and then when there was this elective, which was called conceptual documentary. Uh, that's when I said, "Oh, okay, maybe I can fit in this project that I'm already doing," and that's what happened. But I went to the first. I went. It was very funny because I went to the first seminar with a tutor, and I already had pictures. And then my tutor, what? But this is just to explain to you what is this seminar about.
Top student.
Yeah, no, I already have pictures here. Yeah, I already know what I'm focused on and what I want to go. Okay, and then I never appear again. And then
No
when
way.
was the tutorials, like the
Yeah.
one-to-one with, that's when I came back already with the little book and all the images, and I looked at it and I said, "Oh my, impressive! Wow, so you have been working."
Yeah. You
We
don't show
thought,
up,
yeah.
but you're working.
And it was interesting because that's probably when I said, "Okay, yeah," because I think you should do when you are in university, and universities are very competitive,
Yeah.
and it was a very I would go away many times because I would feel this thing of being competitive,
Yeah.
and I was not something that I really like or enjoy. It doesn't fulfill me. So what I'm saying this is so
You had your own thing going on.
yeah, I had my own thing. I had this friend of mine. We were doing our crazy stuff,
Yeah.
and not crazy, just young, experimenting,
Yeah.
you know, expression, let's
Yeah.
say. And I think that was a good process for me to find my expression, like how I want to express myself with this medium, no, with photography, and that all this process also helped for me to go out of this box or dreams of becoming magnum photographer or like writer, whatever, all this, you know, and just doing my own thing. Yeah. Even when I was working for newspaper in Luanda, I was doing my own work,
Yeah.
so I could separate. So I'm working with a medium where you actually can do so many things.
Yeah.
Photography is not just one thing. You can work in the newspaper, magazines.
So
There is
multifaceted.
Instagram. There is,
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of um, of ways to where photography has been expressed and
Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, it's funny that you talked about Instagram because I was going to ask, how do you think it has kind of impacted the profession of being a photographer? And if you, for example, do you use your Instagram as a portfolio, like, like to exhibit your work? It's not. I mean, it is an album of photos. So, do you think it's a good resource or
I think it's too. I don't know. I don't.
to share?
I took long time to actually use Instagram, but now I have. But I don't know. I don't really
Use
don't.
it.
No, I don't. I don't think I see a potential. I mean, there is a lot of potential. Of course, everybody uses and advertise. I mean, it's a very.
Yeah.
But for photography, and then there's a lot of filters, and then
Yeah.
everything kind of becomes the same thing. It's quite hard to engage, for me at least, in a serious way,
Yeah.
with the with that support. Let's say Instagram. Um, I really love to go in a gallery, in a museum,
Yeah.
look at things. I mean, of
It's
course, it's
always
paper,
different.
but look at the, look.
Understand the dimension.
Yeah. I like that touchy, that three-dimensional kind of Instagram. Probably can be something to maybe something that you already have seen before,
Yeah.
and then there is an advertisement. Oh, it's gonna, and then or to see friends, or to
Yeah.
can be playful, you know. But I don't myself. I don't find so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would your advice be for like young, inspiring photographers? Well, from your experience, learning a lot, experimenting a lot.
Be resilient.
Yeah.
You have to be resilient. Yeah, because it's so many, like talking about Instagram, so many images, you know.
Don't say nothing. Don't say anything.
Yeah, but also there's so many images that sometimes you might be grabbed by instead of looking at things the way you want to look, you're going to look at things the way things looked like before or whatever. There is this kind of ghosts in some people that start photography. Like there was one day this guy, I was talking with him, and he likes landscapes.
Yeah.
And then I made a question like, do you photograph the landscapes where you are, or the landscapes that are in your mind?
Yeah.
Because the landscape, this is an image in your
Imagination.
in imagination, that when you go to the actually landscape, sometimes you get frustrated because it's like, oh, in a photograph was different. Here, actually, it's not so interesting.
Yeah. True.
So there is this. So I always say, be resilient, because when you think you're not able to, or when this thing of maybe this project should be like, when you start thinking too much,
Yeah.
you just have to do it, and that's it. You know?
Yeah. Just do it.
Just do it, and then look at the images after and see if it's still not there. Just continue and
Yeah.
always be resilient.
Do you think that photography can be a really like important means in our continent in Africa to like open people's minds, and like it's a language that can change the perspective of people,
Yes,
like a voice.
I think in the old world, yeah. Actually, photography, in terms, when I was studying photography, in terms of arts, photography has been after the masks, But you heard a lot about photography
Yeah.
coming from Africa, more than now. But now is, of course, everything. Painters, but the most in the beginning, not in the beginning, but maybe because I was also in the medium of photography. But the highlights was too much in photography. So, pardon. Oh. So I think, no, of course, it's a medium, and even the fact that it's digital today, it actually even makes it more easy to be able to be used and easy to maneuver with photography. Before, when it was analog, if I was in Angola, I would have to send my film to. Today with digital is different. But like, to answer your question, if photography.
Especially you being like in photojournalism, like kind of how that has the power to impact.
Yeah, I think it has. It actually, I think for now in general, I think Africa also was a victim of photography.
Yes.
Yeah, because now thinking really, because when I was studying photography, the images they would see in a newspaper is war or kids very thin,
Starvation.
starvation, or lions and
Yeah.
in the sun playing
Jungle.
yeah jungle. So and this image was very characterized so when you actually when people and when I was a kid, even here in Portugal, people would ask me if I had a lion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, this just to say, of course, photography can have, and I think it has created a big impact. But also, it's a language. So,
Yeah.
being a language, you have to be careful what how to use this mechanism. And before, photographies from Africa was mostly made by Westerners, European people who had the opportunity to go and today we can film ourselves.
Yeah. We can take
Africans
our
can
stories.
do
Yeah.
themselves the. But of course, it's very easy always to go to the tropicalism idea of things. To the entertainment, to the. But I think photography, of course, has a big impact. And it can be used to have an impact in different ways as well, not just entertainment,
Yeah, of
but
course.
awareness
Yeah.
of many aspects that we need to resolve.
Yeah. No, it's super funny that you talked about that because that's actually one of the questions that I have, because I think that throughout history, Africa has fallen into the context through photography of what
Yeah.
people see. Like people have these images in their mind that are very depreciative or very specific themes. And like now with like this new generation and new images, and also the fact that it's digitalized, it's so much easier through photography as well to rebrand Africa. Like we're not just that, or we're not that.
Yeah,
There's
we still have those problems,
Exactly.
but we cannot be characterized as only that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But of course, we have to resolve that, and we have
Yeah.
now. We're not going to say stop taking pictures of.
Yeah.
But
But not just
I think
that.
the changes that now Africans are more able themselves to
Yeah.
do. Like even with music. Now I'm comparing the photography with music because Kuduro, even like when you had opportunity to have these boxes, which is
Yeah.
cheaper than having
Drums.
a drums, then you start playing.
Yeah.
So I think it's still in a very beginning. We are playing with these tools,
Yeah.
and is already created impact, and I think it will create even more and more. And let's see now what the future holds. But of course, photography, it had already a big impact in negative ways, and already having also a good impact
Positive.
in a good ways.
Yeah.
But has been probably in terms of art, when we started talking about art from Africa, it was one of the mediums that was people would speak more about.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what you said is super important, that from the moment that the people that are actually living in a place have the resources to tell their own stories,
See,
have their
yes.
own narratives, like the perspective changes. And like nowadays anyone can share it with the world. So like hopefully there's like this new narrative, new ideas, and I think that makes it a lot richer as well, like the whole community.
Yes, of course. I think so. I think also the fact that we have less wars in Africa as well. Now, okay, with this problem the Mozambique, but it was not as like before. Also, also brings a different kind of hope,
Yeah.
and then people are eager to
To learn.
to show also they exist.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like, oh, I would never see Angola in movies. When I would
Yeah.
see just the word Angola, I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's this thing of existing, which is important for everybody.
Yeah. Representation and
Yeah, representation,
feeling
freedom. Yeah,
proud.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was something also that I didn't say before, but also not just living without the reference of a place, but living without reference of like, I don't think I had. Now I remember, I don't think I even had like posters in my room.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson probably. Yeah, but I would not. No, I didn't have.
And it's so funny because actually I can see that it's a theme in every episode we talk about representation, because I think representation is so important.
Yeah.
Because from the moment that you see that someone's doing it, someone that is like you, that is from the place that you are, you believe that's possible. Like you might not have anyone in your family that does it, but
Yeah.
you know that, oh, Edson Chagas is from Angola.
Yeah,
like he's
yeah,
a photographer. He's recognized.
Yeah.
He's exhibited in New York. Like, oh, that's possible for me. Like,
Yes, of course.
I think that's
yeah.
so important.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially for
I
kids.
actually received like years ago some friends that would go somewhere and then they would see in a magazine and find me in the magazine. Hey, I found you here.
Yeah.
And for me, it makes me happy that people, because I don't come from that kind of. I at some point I actually had my people that I would see on TV when I saw like Miguel Hurst or Orlando Sergio in TV. Then it became my proud, But I never really had. I would see a movie and just to see a word Angola. Ooh, super.
Yeah.
I remember this image when I saw the Principal of Bel-Air, and then Will Smith playing with this guy against other guys, and the other guys won. And then this guy said, "Hey man, we looked like Angola against United States." Of course, it was negative, but I was happy at the same time because they said Angola.
Yeah.
So it was quite strange. But yes, today, and then sometimes the countries when the only thing people talk is war or this or that. To have something, to have something to be talked in the good reasons is good for young people and everybody, not just young people.
Yeah. But just talking about young people, so we're filming this a couple of days before you go to Jijoca in Jericoacoara with Africana Art Foundation to do a project called Lynch pelo Ambiente with kids. Like, do you like working with kids? Like, you're going to be there, like doing workshops. Are you excited?
Well, it's gonna be my first experience actually.
Okay.
Doing a workshop. I have participated in different things, but now it's gonna be. I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
a lot of kids.
No, but at the same time, very, very interested and curious, because it's gonna be. It's gonna be also a new experience for me.
Yeah.
We'll see how I will react. If it will be something, I'm sure it's gonna be really fun and really interesting, and probably, if possible, why not to do this in Angola as well next time. So it's going to be an experience. Let's see how it works.
And I think it's always interesting, like they're gonna learn from you, obviously, but maybe you're even gonna learn something
No,
from
of
this
course.
kid.
I think to teach, let's say, you always learn as well. I mean,
Yeah.
the, it's also in terms of personality. How I'm not very someone who works a lot in groups. You know, so for me, it's going to be something also. In a, of course, it's different because I will be kind of a tutor and
Yeah.
helping the kids, but it will be. It is a challenge, and I think it's going to be okay. Of course, being children in another country, which I never been so many times, maybe one time in 4 days in
Yeah.
São Paulo, but I never. So it's going to be also it's a challenge, and then traveling now in times of COVID also.
True, true. But
Also,
at least it's to a good destination. It's warm. It's gonna be
yeah,
nice.
it's warm. It's
It's
warm.
gonna be nice. But it's interesting because so you're gonna be teaching the children how to like photograph and involve themselves with the environment.
I think my rule, because I think they will have a few tutors
Yeah.
who will teach them how to maneuver the camera.
Yeah.
So I will not be doing the. But I think I will explain a little bit my work and how I look at things. So maybe, not maybe, what is going to happen is that I will push them in a ways of how to look at things and explain how the possibilities that they can have with that little toy in their hands, with the camera, photographic camera. So yeah, it's gonna be more in that kind of experience, how to imagine the to imagine, also to actually engage with the theme, which is the ambient, you know,
The environment.
in the environment in that area, and that's through that we're gonna pull out some images and see how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. And just talking, like we were talking about the environment, and it kind of reminded me of like consumption, and that you also talk a lot about in your work. And I remember in 2013 when you won the Golden Lion at the Biennale, that I loved how you put the photos on the floor and people could actually like take them, like the posters, right? And it was kind of like a paradox because you're talking about consumption, but your pieces were like you can take them.
No, you
with
could
you,
take
right?
them, but you could not take them
Yeah.
if you don't. There was no oblige to take.
Yeah.
It was funny because some people went there to actually look at the Renaissance paintings and all the how do you call the mobilia,
Furniture.
the furnitures, and it was funny that some people will just go there for the pictures,
Yeah.
not so there was this paradox as well, and there was people just looking and not taking anything. I mean, there was
No rules.
no rules, but it was interesting to see the reaction. I think the reaction also was, you know, some people ask me to sign because they think it's going to be a big value so there was some people already thinking on the value of things, you know, and others. There was this lady, she came and she used one of the furniture, one table, to
Yeah.
put the picture there for me to sign. And then the security guy came, the person who's like a security came and said, "Madame, you can't put
Use the table.
you can use the table because this table." And she shouted to him like, "No, no, I don't care. This is the artist. He's alive. Now sign, Edson, sign." You know? People, okay. So there was this kind of stories and it was a very nice experience. There is some things in life that you just don't dream, but they happen. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure a
How
lot
was
of
that for
people.
you?
I still, for me, it was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to be, I don't want to sound like, oh, he's too humble. No, I
Yeah.
really didn't. For me, it took time to realize. For me, it was just like, yeah, okay. Never dreamed of this. This happened. Of course, there was a collaboration from the curators as well, which also so helped. And yeah, but for me, it was okay. Oh, this happened. Nice, good. What's next? What's but of course, it creates. It was good for my career, for my. But of course, also creates a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You know, what is the next thing you're gonna do? Is it gonna be very good or
Yeah.
not? So there is this also this ghost, which I think I was trained very well to to kick
Yeah.
him out. But but yes, it was a very good experience, and this paradox of taking, not taking, um, of the installation. Actually, you know what happened when the installation was showed in Cape Town,
No.
Smoker. There was created a lot of litter, you know, because a lot
Yeah.
of some people just took the images
And then they
and
leave
just
the.
throw it. I don't know if some of them just do on purpose,
Yeah.
but even though that happened, it's still not created by the piece. It's the
Yeah.
people, you
Yeah,
know.
it's the
So
people.
it's the more you talk about it, you realize, okay, actually, it's the people.
Yeah.
It's how we behave sometimes with or how we look at things.
And how your work about consumption,
Yeah, yeah.
like people, instead of taking it, they're creating more.
More litter or
Yeah, more litter.
yeah. So that was quite strange. One guy actually, so you are the one with these pictures. Now everybody is putting. No, it's not my fault.
Exactly.
I mean, people have papers at home. They don't throw it
Yeah.
on the floor. I don't know who is. They just don't leave it things there.
But it's
Probably someone did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it must be interesting to see how people react to your work as well, because it's like it's interesting to do the work, but also aren't you curious to see like how are people going to react at it, like in that occasion? Because I feel like especially having something that you can take, but usually in that certain environment, in a museum, in a gallery, you can't touch, you can't come close. So
No,
it's kind of ironic.
This happened
Like,
at MoMA, this happened in MoMA. Actually, friends of mine were there, and one of them were like, where is Edson's work? Where is
Yeah.
it?" And then one of them was seated actually in one of the piles.
no.
And they said, "No, you are seated on it." And then you're there, and then people not take anything.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, this friend of mine said, "Oh, actually, this is like, yeah, we can take it." She took it, and everybody started looking.
Yeah.
Oh, she took it, so we can actually. Oh,
Yeah.
then everybody start taking. So it's quite because I don't know, but when I was a kid, when people talk about art, you cannot touch.
Yeah.
It's something. If you go to see the Picasso, the famous one, which I think is in Louvre.
No, for example, when you see Mona Lisa,
Yeah.
you wait so
So-
long, and then it's like
yeah.
this small.
No, it's that small and it's very far away.
Yeah, it's so far away. It's like a meter and a half away.
Yeah.
You need to stay here. It's
Yes,
ironic.
So, yeah, it is. It's how. And also in my work, I like to this idea of the value of things.
Yeah.
How what's the? It's quite funny because I sell also the images.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit bigger, but also well, the paper and all these things are different, of course. But I'm creating a problem to myself too, because some
Yeah.
people, I don't see it like that, but I'm just giving an example. But because then people feel, oh, what am I going to buy this picture?
If I can,
already have
yeah.
this? So then, but I like, not that I like, but I find it interesting that because art also is an industry. So
Yeah.
And to put these questions, I think it's very important as well.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting when it's like creating.
You
kind of
nearly
a
like play
paradox.
around with people. Like, can you take it? Can you not? Like,
No, 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 I don't. No, I don't go in that. No, no, not that I like to play, but the paradox is given to them as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not the only one living with it. You know?
Okay.
They also, because then when art comes to you and you have to make the choice, then
Yeah.
I think you will feel something, or probably not, but something different. I mean, well, I'm lost now.
No problem. Actually, last two questions, I think.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, in Africana, we use this sentence a lot, and we actually have it as our Instagram bio, which is, when was the last time you felt truly inspired? So I wanted to ask you, when was the last time you felt truly inspired?
I don't remember. Truly inspired.
Do you, for example, when you want to do a piece, do you walk around with your camera everywhere?
No,
Do you
no, I
plan your
don't.
work?
No, no. I
How do you
don't.
find inspiration?
Like, actually, yesterday afternoon, I was looking at the. Actually, I didn't take a picture of that. But the end work was not the picture. It was just the idea came from somewhere I look at. And I was because sometimes I start thinking, oh, I have some images on my computer archive, and never used it, and how to portray that frustration,
Okay.
And then I was thinking maybe I will put some little pictures in the cage of,
Yeah.
of a bird cage. So I was, as an
Brainstorming,
installation, I was
yeah.
thinking, and yeah, it gave some.
So it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday, actually. Yeah.
Okay. And the last question. So our podcast is going to be named Tigers Are Not From Africa.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, if you had a tiger, what would you name it?
Tiger.
Tiger? I like that. I like that. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I had a dog, and for a long time, and he didn't give a name.
No,
No,
really?
because he came to when I was living in my uncle's house. Someone put it on the.
Yeah, it
on
was
the-
abandoned.
Yeah, on the yard of the house, and I found it was a name. I never gave
It
a
was
name,
just dog.
and then I quit. No name. And then my friends start making me like, hey, you
need to
have
give it a
put
name.
You have to, and then I put it Rex. Very boring. And then it became Rex. But I think already it was too late, because I would call
Yeah,
Rex,
yeah,
and he didn't care.
He didn't react.
No.
Okay. Thank you so much, Edson, for coming here.
Okay, it's finished now.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to have you. I mean, we could talk more.
You don't have more questions.
I mean, it was just so fluid. It was just so fluid.
I'm feeling important here.
It was so nice to have you here with us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, okay.
Good luck in Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see the work that comes out there, and
Yeah.
have a safe trip.